A DoorDash driver is making over $100,000. Do y'all believe it? As a delivery man, a DoorDash driver is out here getting 100 bands. Shout out to the DoorDash drivers.
Welcome back. Economists in Hawaii say the gig economy has provided people with flexible work options, and its success is a testament to the potential that it holds.
Let me show some.
KITV4 Cynthia.
Let me show some love to my black men that's out here doing the work. Now, a lot of y'all like to say what black men ain't doing or whatever, so on and so forth. But here's my question, right? As a gig economy worker, shout out to Bill DeBorg boy, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. As a gig economy worker, is this man making over $100,000 a high value man? Is he at least meeting the criteria financially for y'all? Okay, let me revise that. Ladies, if you single or if you were single, I'm curious. Would you talk to this man making $100,000? Does the title of his job factor into whether or not you think that he's prestigious enough to be able to have a conversation with? Let me say that one more time. Does the title of his job matter also? Or is it just the fact that he's getting to the bag and he got good work ethic? Be honest. Because he may be making 100 bands a year, but then you may not like the fact that when your homegirl asks you, what does he do? And then you say, well, my man is a DoorDash driver. Ooh, girl, you can get you a better man than that. Does what he does for a living factor into whether or not you be interested? Is the prestige of the title just as important as the amount of money that they make, or is it all about the bag? Just think about that. Think about it.
A DoorDash driver in Hawaii is breaking all expectations by making more than $100,000.
And Fantasy Island Girl, your new name is Fan. When y'all see Fantasy Island Girl on any platform, here, Fight Club, wherever it is that she pop up at, if you see Fantasy Island Girl, I don't want you calling her Fantasy Island Girl anymore. I don't care what the fuck she label her name as. You call her Fan. Her name is Fan from now on.
A year. It's all new at 6.
This dasher in Hawaii has found a perfect recipe for success, delivering meals, groceries, and pretty much anything else you could want. But more than that, he is serving up a lucrative income.
Look at that good black man out there working and hustling. Look at that good black man out there working and hustling, picking up your food, being productive, adding value into the economy and society. This is the man that y'all should be trying to get with. This man should not be single. He better not be single. He should have every single woman laying down at his feet trying to be able to get in touch with him.
Make a lot of money. You can make more than 100,000. It's all about what you want to make. It's all about you.
And it's
your name is Fan. Reading that super chat shortly.
all about the hustle. Ronald Coleman works 7 days a week and between 12 to 20 hours a day. His goal is to make $400 each day. So that works out to about $33 to $20 an hour.
Let me tell you how a lot of these people wind up being successful. And it really doesn't matter what industry you're in, right? When I talk to people a lot of times, one of the things that I have them do, well, I'm not going to give y'all that level of game. I'll give you this, right? And on some real shit. This is how y'all need to start breaking things down in order to be successful when it comes to what it is that you do on a regular basis. Somebody came to me one time and they said, Anton, I want to pay off $30,000 in debt. Actually, it was specifically $33,000 in debt. Somebody jumped on and they said, I can't see it, bro. I can't see being able to get out of this motherfucking hole. Some of y'all are so dependent on the federal government to take care of you that you may be sitting on $30,000, $33,000, $34,000, $35,000 in debt. Think about that shit for a minute. Some of y'all got student loans, and let's just say, for example, you got $30,000, $34,000, $35,000, $36,000 in student loans, right? He said, Anton, I can't see it. I said, all right, well, let's milestone it out. He said, what you mean? I said, let's break it down. I said, then that means that you have to make the equivalent of $33,000 for the entire year to be able to get this shit up off you. He said, yeah, man, I just can't see it, bro. I'll be so tired. I said, all right, cool. I said, well, in reality, that's not that big of a deal. He said, why? I said, because all you got to do is make $3,000 a month. He said, I mean, that don't even sound that bad. I said, bro, all you got to do is make $3,000 extra a month and that you can be done with that shit. He said, but bro, that's a lot of money. And to the chat, right? When you break down from $33,000 or $36,000 in the year down to $3,000 a month, it actually sounds a little bit more manageable. But a lot of people is like, damn, but I mean, $3,000? What I got to do for that $3,000? Well, let me break it down for you a little bit differently, right? The way that I look at things, and maybe this is just the way that my brain works, that ain't shit but an extra $100 a day. I said, fam, you got to make $100 more a day. He said, what? He said, no, that ain't right. He said, that don't even make sense. I said, bro, you have to make an extra $100 today. I can go and make $100 without even blinking. You don't have to be great. You don't have to be phenomenal. All you got to do is be awesome right here, right now. Instead of going and picking up the remote controller, all you got to do is make $100. You can go and cut grass. You can go and do an Uber. You can go and do DoorDash. You can go and do, it's too many options for you to be able to really, really be able to knock this shit out. You don't have to depend on the federal government. You don't have to have this shit over your head. All you got to do is start making an extra $100 a day. And you can have this shit out done in a year. He was like, damn, you can go and deliver pizzas. He was like, damn, that's crazy. When people deliver my DoorDash, I be tipping them $40 and $50. You don't have to make $33,000, $36,000 in a year. You got to make $100 a day. Now, young boy 24 and AL says, I try for an extra $200 after work. That's the hack. See, it's no finesse, ain't no scamming, ain't no other different shit that you gonna do any differently that's gonna make you any more awesome. It's hard work, and it's just really starting to break things down so that you can milestone it out and then understand how it is that you're gonna be successful. Because when you start making that extra $100 a day, you're gonna be thinking to yourself, well, shit, I can actually get rid of this shit in like 6 months if I make an extra $200 a day. You see how you start reverse engineering your mind to start looking at it differently, because it took you an extra couple hours, an extra few hours to make that $100, but you still ain't doing shit. So it's like, well, I can actually knock this shit out in 6 months, because it ain't shit to make an extra 200 when you make an extra 100, right? Let me break it down for you a little bit differently. Some people say, well, you know what? I'm going to just make the extra 100, but then I'm going to get that extra 100 for myself. It's $100 a day, fam. Your student loans, car payment, credit card bills, Pay an extra $30,000 on your mortgage in order to prevent yourself from continuing to give money over to the mortgage company and interest, It's not rocket science. It's milestoning that shit out, breaking it all the way down. You can break it down even further. Okay, well, I got to make an extra $100 a day. Well, if I want to do an extra 8 hours, that really ain't shit but an extra, what, $12? $13? I'm going to get to that super chat shortly. He said his goal is to make $400 a day. Next thing you know, he making over $100,000 a year.
When he looked at his 1099 in 2022, he saw he raked in $114,000.
Last year, he made 114 bands. Listen, his biggest problem now is not your problem. His problem is how is it that he's going to make sure that he's saving money so that he don't have to pay as much in taxes. So now he got to start looking at things from a different perspective. Now he got to tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat, right? Because now his 1099, which means that he's not a W-2 employee, right? His 1099 said he made 114 bands. He got to figure out how it is that he can lower his taxes. He got good problems, not bad problems. That's how quickly you can go from having and operating under duress to trying to understand how rich people think and how it is that they work. He looked at his 1099, that shit said 114,000. Nope, it's not cap. It's not cap. I actually did some research on this guy. This dude went and did 114 bands in 2022. This is a fact.
That even surprised him.
It's still mind-blowing, especially doing it in a place like this. If you're willing to put the time and effort into yourself, it's going to pay off.
Economist Paul Brubaker says this is the new economy, with side hustles and non-traditional jobs now the new reality.
It's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5. It's nothing wrong with doing things the traditional way. But when you think outside the box and you gain a lot of different knowledge, because we have the technology in the world at the palm of our hand.
Coleman has been coming to Hawaii since 2005. In 2021, he moved to the islands to live with his brother, who has been based at Schofield Barracks for more than 20 years. Since first coming here, Coleman fell in love with Hawaii and its people. On the shores and roads of Hawaii, Ronald Coleman hopes to continue to find success on his journey of opportunity.
Now here's the real caveat. Here's the real caveat. He's lowered his expenses and he lives with his brother. He lowered his expenses, he ran his bag up, and he lives with his brother. Now, if he was smart, he would completely get rid of the debt and he would start allocating the majority of that into assets, which he then can open up a business that's closely tied to his lifestyle, and then he'd reduce his tax burden that goes along with it. But that's a completely different conversation. What I see in a lot of these different areas, like when I go over to Miami, they don't even have the same expenses as you guys, so they keep more in their pocket. You know what they ride on? Scooters. All of the delivery drivers, because it's nice year-round, all of the delivery drivers, all of the DoorDash drivers, all of the Grubhub drivers, all of the Uber Eats drivers, they own them little fucking scooters, and that's how they deliver their stuff. They don't have the same gas as you. They don't have the same tires as you. When I went over to the Dominican Republic, scooters is the way that most people Uber. It was crazy. Obviously, it was a completely different company. It was a different name. I think it was owned by Uber. But over in Miami, they don't even use cars, the delivery drivers. They all be on them fucking scooters. They all be on those scooters. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat.